One things we've done with supply is I think we realized COVID first started, hey, there's probably gonna be a problem. So we started stocking like 12 months ahead. And we've had people call us who were new stores who had talked to somebody else and were like, they can't get any, they can't get any hardware. Y'all have hardware. And they're like, yeah, we have hardware. What are the kind of stuff that's hard for you guys to get?
Well, it's been interesting. So in the early days of COVID, we didn't really have any supply chain issues then. We had an influx of orders, kind of people, for lack of a better term, panic ordering, right? So from a production standpoint, capacity standpoint, that was something to manage, right? We had this big influx coming in. Fast forward to today, now there's all sorts of supply chain issues with raw materials. There's materials on allocation. So now it's essentially waiting for materials to get delivered and then putting them through production as quickly as possible. So this is the longest lead times I've seen in the last 14 years that I've been in the industry. So
wow.
Hopefully it's a short moment in time here. And like I said, we're doing everything we can to kind of hedge around it. But it's everywhere, right? It's not for once limited to our industry. So that is nice. I think people kind of get it and they understand. So
yeah, and you're starting to see weird stuff like there's a shortage of cream cheese in New York, and there's you're starting to see kind of weird foods get shorted and just kind of different stuff kind of late in the game. I don't know, people weren't panic buying cream cheese or milk. So, and we're not importing milk from overseas. So what causes there to be a shortage of cream cheese? It just you wonder all these little, just society, all of our supply chain seems so fragile. You had the big push in the 80s for all this just in time stuff. And I think that's made us just fragile to demand. I guess people sitting at home eating cheesecake. I'm sad. I'm gonna eat a cheesecake.
There's other things you can make with cream cheese.
I was sad because I spent most of my life when I was a skinny guy with a high metabolism, not thinking that cheesecake sounded like a good thing to eat. It was like I was so wrong. If I would have known how good cheesecake was,
you probably would have been a bigger kid.
I might have been a bigger kid. I'd eaten a heck of a lot more cheesecake though. I'd eaten cheesecake instead of 5 hamburgers. But yeah, so I see. One of the possibilities might be, I guess, labor shortage. Maybe people can't get enough people to milk cows.
I was going to say because I did see a thing where we're sitting here complaining about supply chain issues, but it's all sitting out in the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean right now. And I saw this article where this guy who works the freight yard said that, they actually had to cut it in half so they could allow for social distancing. And I guess they still haven't brought everybody back to help unload these shipping containers. And so what used to take 3 hours to unload one container now takes, or 3 hours to unload like a mass boat now takes like 3 hours just for one container is what it was like, some crazy drop in production. Yeah.
Well, you wonder if consumption's gone up too.
Absolutely.
I think about, with online ordering and stuff, I buy more stuff than I used to. I have more and more gadgets and things than I used to buy.
Well, because during the pandemic, we'd all go to the store and it's like, oh, it's not on the shelf. It's all completely gone. And I've gone to Target and I've gone to Walmart. Nope. Okay. I'll just order it online and it'll be here in a month. And at least I know it's coming. So
yeah. Any recommendations? Should people, you think it's a blip or stuff? If I'm a pharmacy, should I, and I don't want to induce panic buying here, so let's everybody take a deep breath before we have this conversation. But what do you have any recommendations about, should I have more things, more labels, more blister packs?
Yeah, I think it's about planning ahead, right? So supplies in pharmacy, maybe anywhere, packaging is probably the last thing people think about until they're out of it, right? And then it becomes a very big issue. So lead times are longer right now. We're running about 10 to 12 weeks. So just kind of forecasting usage, right? And get an idea how many scripts per day, add a buffer, not the panic order like we were talking about, but a buffer to that to make sure you're okay. And just keep an eye on it, right? We tell customers for labels, right? Put a dot on the 4th box on the bottom, right? When you get to the dot, call an order, that type of thing.
That's a good tip.
Do you see that the lead time's increasing? Or
I hope not.
Yeah.
These material shortages and allocation, honestly, we're told conflicting information about how long that's going to last. We're looking at a variety of different options to kind of combat that if they do persist. So I'm hoping this is just a blip in time. The holidays always, tend to extend lead times a little bit too. So it's more or less like the perfect storm. I hope, fingers crossed, that they go down from here and not increase.
Yeah. So is that something, do y'all have a way, do you communicate that to customers? Do you say, hey, we're seeing more, you guys probably should have, should realize a 10 to 12 week lead time? And
we do, yeah. I mentioned earlier, but we, as a customer service effort for PAS all the time, we help monitor inventory. So if customers are ordering, every 4 months, we'll call them for a standard lead time of 4 weeks, in 3 months and say, hey, it looks like you should be due. Can you check? And our customers seem to really like and appreciate that because, again, it's kind of the last thing you think about. So we've been reaching out quite a bit early to hedge for this. We are sending communications via our social media channels and HTML email blasts and things of that nature, and just trying to stay communicative with customers about what to expect so they can plan.
Have y'all had to, supplement anything and go, okay, well, I'm sorry we're out of this, but hey, we've got this and this is kind of like this in a way, or?
We have labels in particular. If their custom order is taking longer, we'll switch them onto a stock format.
Gotcha.
Worst case scenario, they may have to switch dyes if it's not a stock product, but it's been, it's gone well so far. So we have different tricks up our sleeves. So nobody's ever going to be without something.
Mm-hmm. Y'all have a pretty good supply of stock labels then, I guess.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've increased that and plan to continue to do so. So we'll have something so nobody's without.